Verse number is 1:13:10, Prabhuji. Okay. 1:13:10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, verse number 10. This is one of the most important and very well-known verse. I am always so inspired by His Grace Glorification Prabhuji. Whenever a great devotee comes to temple, Prabhuji would introduce in this verse. They would say, Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani. Many of you might have heard this phrase. This is from this particular verse. Prabhuji would always recite this verse. So one day I thought, I must go to it's been a long time I read this verse, the purport. So I wanted to really absorb in the purport. So I went back and I was so impressed and so amazed with the divine words of Srila Prabhupada in this purport. So we would like to begin with this verse today. And this verse will be a perfect glorification for our beloved Srila Prabhupada. And actually speaking, it is just like a drop of ocean what we can offer. Prabhupada's glories are unlimited. What we can do is just like the little sparrow, can only offer a little drop. We will try. Bhavat Vida Bhagavatas. Bhavat Vida Bhagavatas. Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani. Svantasthena Gadaprata. Devotees.
Bhavadvidha Bhagavata.
Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Bhuta Swayam Vibho. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Svantasthena Gadavrita. Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Swayam Vibho.
Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani.
Svantasthena Gadavrita.
Svantasthena Gadavrita. Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas. Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani. Svantasthena Gadavrita.
Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho.
Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho.
Kurvanti Tirthani.
Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani.
Svantasthena Gadavrita.
Svantasthena Gadavrita. Synonyms. Please repeat. Bhavat. Your good self. Vidaha. Like. Bhagavataha. Devotees. Tirtha. The holy place of pilgrimage. Bhutaha. Converted into. Swayam. Personally. Vibho. Oh powerful one. Tirti Kurvanti. Make into a holy place of pilgrimage. Tirthani. The holy places. Svantasthena. Having been situated in the heart. Gadavrita. The personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all the places into places of pilgrimage. Purport. The personality of Godhead is omnipresent by His diverse potencies everywhere. Just as the power of electricity is distributed everywhere within this space, similarly, Lord's omnipresence is perceived and manifested by His unalloyed devotees like Vidura, just as electricity is manifested in an electric bulb. A pure devotee like Vidura always feels the presence of the Lord everywhere. He sees everything in the potency of the Lord and the Lord in everything. The holy places all over the earth are meant for purifying the polluted consciousness of the human being by an atmosphere such charged with the presence of the Lord's unalloyed devotees. If anyone visits a holy place, he must search out the pure devotees residing in such holy places. Take lessons from them. Try to apply such instructions in practical life and thus gradually prepare oneself for the ultimate salvation, going back to Godhead. To go to some holy place of pilgrimage doesn't mean only to take a bath in the Ganges or Yamuna or to visit the temples situated in those places. One should also find representatives of Vidura who have no desire in life save and except to serve the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead is always with such pure devotees because of their unalloyed service, which is without any tinge of fruitive action or utopian speculation. They are in the actual service of the Lord, specifically by the process of hearing and chanting. The pure devotees hear from the authorities and chant, sing, and write of the glories of the Lord. Mahamuni Vyasadeva heard from Narada and then he chanted in writing. Sukadeva Goswami studied from his father and he described it to Parikshit. That is the way of Srimad Bhagavatam. So by their actions, the pure devotees of the Lord can render any place into a place of pilgrimage. And the holy places are worth the name only on their account. Such pure devotees are able to rectify the polluted atmosphere of any place, and what to speak of unholy by the questionable actions of the interested persons who try to adopt a professional life at the cost of their reputation of a holy place. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Dharamayam Tadadi Swapadambikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishkarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I sincerely seek the blessings of my spiritual master, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, and all the assembled devotees to bless me and empower me to speak the right words. My special gratitude to His Grace Srila Kishore Prabhuji, Shyam Kishore Prabhuji for the opportunity to serve. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. Wishing you all a very happy Srila Prabhupada's Divine Vyasa Puja celebrations. It's a beautiful verse. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 13th chapter, verse number 10. And this is the conversation between Yudhishthira Maharaj to Vidura. And Vidura actually is his uncle. But he knows, Yudhishthira Maharaj, being a great pure devotee, he knows who his Vidura is. So he glorifies him in such a way. Kirti Kurvanti Tirthani. He uses the word, my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily the holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all the places into places of pilgrimage. Generally, when we glorify a person, we don't generally say you're like that place. Like if you are from such a place, we don't glorify that you are from, such and such city. But here, the person is glorified as the holy place. Then the question comes, what about holy places? You have heard this, right? Krishna is different, not different from his dham. Krishna is non-different from his holy place. And now these pure devotees are compared to holy places. So basically they are walking holy place of pilgrimage. And the question arises, why? Because they, all the pure devotees, they carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead within their heart. They are walking temples. They always carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead within their heart. And more importantly, because of their quality, they turn all the places into places of pilgrimage. What better example can you think about other than Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Prabhupada's miracle? Prabhupada turned every place into a holy place. Who could think of New York, born in New York? Even today, it is a horrible place, if not for the temples, if not for the, that is the place of Arjuna of ISKCON. That is the only reason all devotees want to go to New York. Every devotee, ISKCON devotee, they have a desire. But somehow they want to go to New York and see the 26th Avenue and also the Tompkins Square Park. And Tompkins Square Park, even today, it's not a good place to go, actually speaking. If you go just as a visitor to go, you will see all sort of unwanted things there. But for all the devotees in ISKCON, Tompkins Square Park is a place of pilgrimage. Have you ever thought anywhere in America we go to a park and hug a tree, pay obeisances to the tree and take the dust and put it on your head? You will do in Tompkins Square Park. Because that is a place Prabhupada brought this entire amazing organization of ISKCON. Prabhupada would sit under the Tompkins Square Park, that particular tree is written on this big board. This is a tree under which the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Sharanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada sat under and led Kirtan. You will see a big board. You will see a lot of garlands, so many flower petals around, and devotees would take dust from there. That is a place in New York in a park. It's so amazing how Prabhupada turned every place into a holy place. San Francisco. In the 70s, San Francisco was considered as drug capital. It's not a good thing to think about, right? And most of the flower children, who are known as flower children, the hippies, the word hippie itself is not a good word. It's not a compliment. It's an insult, actually. All the hippies, they were in millions in San Francisco area. Can you believe? In that same San Francisco, Prabhupada brought Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai out of India and started the first Rath Yatra in the world other than Jagannath Puri. And the first Rath Yatra in ISKCON happened in San Francisco. That is why San Francisco temple is New Jagannath Puri. Can you believe? And in one of the mountains, which are deep forest in West Virginia, Prabhupada made that into New Vrindavan. And like this, you can go on. LA. People generally think about LA, Los Angeles, for Hollywood. Prabhupada said Hollywood is nothing. Prabhupada made that place as New Dwaraka. Every place Prabhupada made into a holy place. Farmington Hills, Prabhupada made into a new Ekachakradam ki jai. You can go on and on. All these places we are talking about, it's all in America. Can we think of all these are holy places? Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he said when devotees requested, please go to Vrindavan Maharaj when he was in the final days of his earthly pastime. Devotees requested, Maharaj, please go to Vrindavan. He said, wherever Prabhupada visited, wherever Prabhupada stepped in, all those places are Vrindavan. They are not different from Vrindavan. So he left his body in Gita Nagarika. So every devotee in ISKCON, he knew all about this. Prabhupada made every place into a holy place of pilgrimage. Tirthi Kurvati Tirthari. That is Prabhupada's amazing glories. Otherwise, who in the world will think about, right? Going to a particular park, hugging the tree, taking the dust. It is all Prabhupada's causeless mercy. And there are thousands and thousands and billions of pastimes about how Prabhupada gave this mercy to everyone. It is so amazing. How many of you heard about the name Atma Tattva Prabhu?
Yeah.
Atma Tattva Prabhu? Yes, thank you, Prabhu. He actually also translated the Bhagavad Gita in Atma Tattva Prabhu is a very wonderful personality. Before coming to ISKCON, he was already a sannyasi. He was known as Swami Atmananda. And because he was from a different process, and he got attracted to Krishna consciousness, Loknath Goswami Maharaj, he inspired him so much. And he was, when devotees were staying, those days, they could get initiation earlier because the service was essential. So when devotees asked him, would you like to take initiation? He would always say, not now, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. So one day, Prabhupada, he was sitting in Guru Puja. Devotees were offering Guru Puja to Srila Prabhupada, just like how we did now. So many, hundreds and hundreds of devotees were offering Guru Puja to Srila Prabhupada, singing Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. So they were singing like that, and everyone was so blissfully chanting because they could directly offer to Srila Prabhupada in person. And at that time, Prabhupada was playing Kartal and he was also singing. So, Atmananda, that time when he was Atmananda Prabhu, Swami, he asked Loknath Goswami Maharaj, what is Prabhupada doing? He's singing. He's also singing. We are singing to glorify Srila Prabhupada. He's also singing. But why? Because he's singing to his spiritual master. Then immediately he said, please add my name for initiation. Really? So long you were just saying that Not now, not now, not ready yet. But why did he say now? He said, because I saw him. When we all glorified him, he immediately glorifies his spiritual master. Now we can see a clear chain of parampara here. So he is the person I want to surrender. Please add my name. And the devotees happily added his name. When his name came for initiation, generally it will be like Bhakta so and so, Bhakta so and so. Suddenly, Swami Atma. But what? Is already Swami? He said, yes, Prabhupada, but he wants to take initiation from him. Then Prabhupada quoted that beautiful verse and from there, Atma Tattva. He said, your name is Atma Tattva Das. And he became Atma Tattva Prabhu. So amazing. Atma Tattva Prabhu, he narrates so many beautiful pastimes. He emphasized the point about, how Prabhupada is so magnanimous to everyone. His dealings are really amazing. I was actually recently hearing a class by my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Goswami. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj was bringing the point about ever well-wisher. Prabhupada would always write these two disciples and end the letter with your ever well-wisher. It's an amazing word, actually. And generally, we don't hear that word that often. You heard only in Prabhupada's letter. Otherwise, generally, we will say, yours sincerely, your servant, so and so like. But you are ever well-wisher. The word is very loaded, the word ever well-wisher. Maharaj was saying this point. In this world, there is only one friend actually. That one friend is the Supreme Lord. He is our Suhrit. Suhridam Sarva Bhutana. So, Suhrit means he is the most intimate, well-wishing friend. And what does friend means? Friend is the one we've all heard from our childhood. Friend is the one who needs at the time of the need. What is that? The real need is to be there when someone is going through the most difficult situation. Who can help in the most difficult situation as a passing away or death? Only Krishna can help. One who has the capability. Similarly, that same mercy given by someone, some great personality, who is there at the time of need. That means who gives his own life for the welfare of everyone. Most importantly, for uplifting them, for spiritually uplifting them. That means to bring them closer to Krishna. That person is a real friend, that person is the real well-wisher. So that is Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was giving his own life, sacrificed his life for all of us and millions more to come. Why? To uplift us spiritually and to bring us closer to Krishna. Prabhupada's main goal is to bring everyone to Krishna. Many times you've heard this. What pleases you the most, Srila Prabhupada? Many times Prabhupada gave different answers. At one time, Prabhupada made it very clear. When you love Krishna, I please the most. Prabhupada said this, when we love Krishna. He did everything for us so that we can come closer to Krishna and love Krishna. All of us have heard from the day one how Prabhupada sacrificed everything, his own health. He started at the age of 69. And generally these days everyone thinks of early retirement, right? Early means even at 40, they plan, I just want to retire at 40. But Prabhupada started this worldwide movement, which is unparalleled. There will be nothing like this in the future also. ISKCON's history is the most amazing, most unparalleled. That is the most inspiring story you will ever hear in your life or in the lives to come. If you read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, that is the best motivating pastime or a story you can ever think about. Amazing how Prabhupada, so much of difficulties he had to endure. On his way, he didn't come in a flight, he didn't come in a jet. He came in a cargo ship. And not just for a day, it was more than a month. Prabhupada had to come in a cargo ship. To get ticket in the cargo ship, he had to literally beg Sumati Maharaj. It was such a hardship to get into that. And during the time of his travel, It was so difficult for him. Prabhupada had to go through 2 heart attacks. So many difficulties. After coming here also, he did not know anyone. Hardly he had only $6 worth of Indian rupees, which was 40 rupees at that time. And his hope was only Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam. That's all. He did not know anyone. Prabhupada would say, when I came to Boston, I did not know whether to turn left or right, and there was no one to receive him. Can you believe? Can you ever think of, just put yourself in that situation. We all, came to America for our own purposes. And for visa itself, you would have struggled for a year, right? All of us must have gone through visa interview. Everything will literally humble you. All this immigration is there to make us humble. So, with so much of difficulties, at that time also, you will plan everything. By the time you arrive, someone will be there, and your accommodation is taken care, and you have enough money to survive, and you have a job secured, or university education secured, everything. That's how you plan, right? These days, you even plan your stay with, through social media and everything. Think about it. Prabhupada came 1965. Those days, hardly there were any Indians here. Still, Prabhupada, forget about if there is no Indians, there are no Indian stores also. And Prabhupada knew very well, you may not get Indian groceries at that time. You think of your life without Indian groceries, without going to Indian grocery store. Practically every week you have to visit, right? They're completely depending on the Indian groceries for our food. Prabhupada knew, many of them said, you have to survive only with bread and potatoes. Prabhupada is 69 years old. He was ready. We can easily say once, I'll just live on bread and potatoes. One time is okay. Think about it. Again and again. It's very difficult. It's haunting to think about. For me, bread. Thank you very much. So, Prabhupada was ready to do anything. So much he had to endure. He also had to endure a stroke. It's not an easy thing. Everything he could have easily, happily stayed in Vrindavan, in Radha Damodar temple. The center of the universe. Prabhupada calls Radha Damodar temple as the center of the spiritual universe, center of the whole universe. That's where everything began. Prabhupada was given a room, 2 rooms there. He could have happily stayed there. Everyone had a great respect for Prabhupada. But still, he decided, I want to go and fulfill my spiritual master's words, instructions. He took it as his life and soul. And he endured all the difficulties. Just be mindful. He started at 69 years old. He started a worldwide movement there in New York. First, after coming, there was a big pastime. After coming to Boston, then he went to Pennsylvania, from Butler, Pennsylvania. Then Prabhupada went to New York. New York, 26th Avenue is the first place. Temple started by Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON. And as I was mentioning about Thompson's Park, Prabhupada would sit under the park and chant. And that attracted, Prabhupada's pure chanting attracted hundreds and hundreds of people. And that's where everything began. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are going to meditate on the your well-wisher, that word, how Prabhupada was so magnanimous. Again, I was hearing from my Guru Maharaj. He was telling, in Mayapur, that time, by then, already Prabhupada had thousands of disciples. So Prabhupada said everyone to go to Mayapur, because that is also the prediction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. One day, devotees will come from everywhere, all over the world, and chant the holy names. Prabhupada made this happen. He brought devotees from all over the world. Thousands of devotees were there. And they were offering gas puja. And at that time, they were singing Guru Puja for Srila Prabhupada. Can you imagine? All these devotees came to Mayapur for what? To meet Srila Prabhupada, to have darshan of Srila Prabhupada, to be with Prabhupada, to hear Prabhupada. That was their main goal. And they are so blissful because you are in the place of the Avadharya Dham in Mayapur, Mahaprabhu's divine appearance place, all the Panchatattva's divine place. And they are seeing their spiritual master offering Guru Puja to him. Thousands and thousands of devotees with tears, so much bliss and happiness they were offering, chanting. And the best of the Kirtan player in ISKCON was leading the Kirtan. And all the devotees, with so much of happiness, offering flowers, and hundreds of devotees were offering garland. Prabhupada had to, remove the garland frequently so that his face could be visible, lotus face could be visible. That many garlands keep coming. And Prabhupada was singing, and suddenly Prabhupada called the devotee, Bhagavan Prabhu, called and asked, "What happened in your leg?" He had a bandage on his leg. So what happened? He said, "Prabhupada, I have an infection in my leg." Then Prabhupada immediately, this is all Guru Puja is going on, thousands of devotees are singing, everybody is ecstatic. Prabhupada is talking to Bhagavan Prabhu. What happened? How did it happen? Then Prabhupada said, "You must go to a doctor. It's a serious thing. Do you have money?" Then Prabhupada immediately took money from his pocket and gave it to Bhagavan Prabhu and said, "You must go now to take care of it and let me know." Believe? And this conversation happened for 5 minutes. And everyone is watching. Whole world is glorifying Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada was focusing on everyone. And who needed the most, Prabhupada literally called him and he was thinking about his health and welfare. That is Srila Prabhupada. And everyone who saw this were deeply touched. He was not just accepting. And Prabhupada would always say, he is always giving whatever glorification. Immediately he transfers to his Guru Maharaj. His Guru Maharaj will transfer to his own Guru Maharaj. That is a perfect parampara. But Prabhupada was always there for the welfare, for the spiritual welfare, for all his disciples and all his followers. This is one of my favorite, pastime also heard from His Holiness Bhakticharya Swami Maharaj. And many of you might know our beloved Rohinandan Prabhu's official name is Ramakrishna Bajaj. So I'm not talking about him. There was another Ramakrishna Bajaj. I guess he was the governor for Chennai, I believe, and Madras at that time. He, along with someone else, went to meet Prabhupada. At that time, he wanted to talk to Prabhupada in private. So during that time, the personal servant was His Holiness Bhakticharya Maharaj. So he asked Prabhupada, "Can I speak with you in private?" And Prabhupada looked at them. They left. Bhakticharya Maharaj, so sweetly, he turned on the tape and he left. He wanted to know what's happening because it's a private talk. So he turned on the tape and he asked this very interesting question. "Prabhupada, there's an amazing movement now. It's grew worldwide. Prabhupada had 120 temples. During his time, Prabhupada established 120 temples. And all the temples are in prime places now. If you see ISKCON Washington DC temple, it is one of the most upscale locations. It's in Potomac. And that is the place where all the congressmen, senates, and big golf player, this player, there, everyone stays there. When you go there itself, you know this is a prime location. And that is the place this temple is there. Like that, every temple. ISKCON Juhu, Mumbai Darshan starts from ISKCON Juhu. Like Mumbai too, when you go, that starts from Juhu temple. That is a prime location. Can you believe? And thousands and hundreds of devotees. Every year, literally millions of people come for Janmashtami to Juhu temple. Millions, I'm not exaggerating. Millions of people. And it will always be multiplying every time. Like this everywhere. And Prabhupada's glory is unparalleled in history. No one has done like this. Can you think about? He made devotees in the remote places also. You name the country, devotees are there. Serbia, how many of you heard about Serbia? It is one of the most coldest places. Indradumna Maharaj once said, in Serbia, people don't walk when they go for shopping. They need to jog. Because if you walk, you will freeze. Minus 60. Can you think about? Minus 10, 20, we are bone chilling. Minus 60, if you stand in a place, you'll freeze. So they have to literally jog. In those places, you type in YouTube, you'll find in Serbia, devotees chanting Bhakti, Chaitanya Maharaj is chanting Kirtan, hundreds of devotees, not even a single Indian devotee I could see, all are Serbian devotees, dancing ecstatically. Like this, everywhere the movement spread. Now coming back to Mayapur again to Srila Prabhupada's pastime. This particular pastime of where the governor of Madras came, and he asked, "So you have now thousands of disciples, so many amazing temples. Prabhupada, can you tell me who would be your successor? Who will be, passing your legacy?" You know what is Prabhupada's answer? He said, "Every follower in ISKCON, every devotee in ISKCON will carry my legacy." That includes all of us. That is Srila Prabhupada. And at that time, he saw the tape was on. Prabhupada, can you turn this off? But by then it is already recorded and we all could hear. That's by the mercy of His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. Ki Jai. So we all have a responsibility because we all have to carry his legacy forward. Coming back to ever well-wishing pastimes of Prabhupada. Another time, one Mataji, she came to meet Prabhupada. And that Mataji had a very beautiful hairdo. And right in America, it's quite expensive to do a proper hairdo. And she was very nicely decorated. When she came to temple, she was recently coming. And devotee started nicely preaching to her that you are not the body. What does that mean? You're not supposed to do all this, makeup, this, that. You should be completely detached from body. And she got so fed up hearing this. She said, I'm not going to come to this temple. But she heard Prabhupada is coming, a guru is coming. So at least I will have darshan of Prabhupada and then I will go back. I'll not come back. You people are torturing me with this kind words. So she came to Prabhupada. Do you know how did Prabhupada treat her? Prabhupada said, wow, you have beautiful hair. You are decorated so well. I'm pleased to see you. She was completely surprised and she melted there. She said, wow, this is Prabhupada speaking. Generally, you don't hear Prabhupada appreciate him. Prabhupada said this. And she immediately surrendered. Next day, she changed her hairstyle and became like a devotee hairstyle with combed hair. And she joined the temple. Can you believe? Prabhupada knew exactly what every person needs and uplift them spiritually, to come closer to Krishna, to come closer to Him. That is Srila Prabhupada. And like this, innumerable pastimes. Another pastime, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, he shared this. When Radhanath Maharaj was, at that time, he was seeking, he was going to several places, hearing from so many gurus. And he came to Mumbai. At that time, there was a huge Pandal program. In that Pandal program, more than 20,000 people were there. And Prabhupada asked Gurudas Prabhu, and he pointed out to a particular person and said, go bring him here and ask him to come near me. Can you believe? Yesterday we heard about close to probably 10,000 people. And we were there practically everywhere to serve. And it was really exhausting. And this is moving crowd. Actually, we are talking about. In Pandal, all the 20,000 people are there at one place. That means there is ocean of people. And in that, Prabhupada could see a particular person and said to Gurudas to go bring him here. And he came to Radhanath Maharaj. At that time, his name was Richard. So he said he had a long hair. He had his clothes, which was actually soiled by, all the holy places, taking bath in holy places. Generally, when you take bath in the holy places, your cloth gets soiled. It comes to a little brownish color. Maharaj had a long hair, so at that time he came and said, Prabhupada wants you. I said, what? Prabhupada wants you to come and he wants you to sit right next to him. I said, how did he know me? I've not seen Prabhupada yet. This is the first time I'm here. How did he know me? I said, I don't know, but Prabhupada wants you. And he literally dragged him, because he didn't wait for it, because it's Guru's instruction. He literally dragged him, pulling his hand and took him to the stage. Can you believe 20,000 people are sitting? Prabhupada touched his head and caressed his head and said, please sit right next to me. Prabhupada made him sit. And Maharaj says this. This is the magnanimity of a great personality. They need what a person who needs the most mercy, he knows exactly and bring him closer to Krishna. And another time after that, Maharaj was spending more time in Vrindavan. Generally, devotees are not encouraged to stay in Vrindavan during those days because preaching is the essence. It's the most important service. So they will come, visit, take darshan, take blessings, and then they go to their respective places and start preaching. So Maharaj was staying more than 6 months at that time. So all the devotees were preaching to him. Hey, you're not supposed to be staying here. That is Maya. Because if you think, you can be here and advance yourself, So better you come out of the place and go out to preach the message of Krishna consciousness everywhere. But Maharaj didn't want to leave Vrindavan. He had a deep love for Vrindavan. He just wanted to be there in Vrindavan. So everybody came and spoke. And one day, when Maharaj was in a garden, Prabhupada came and asked him, "Oh, you are here? You like Vrindavan?" He said, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada, very much." And then immediately, devotees were waiting to hear what Prabhupada is going to say. Prabhupada said, "You are very fortunate. Vrindavan is such a wonderful place." Prabhupada left. And Maharaj was so relieved. Wow! Prabhupada knew my heart. Prabhupada knew exactly what a person needed. And Prabhupada see the spark in that person and he knew how to bring it up. And that same His Holiness Raghunath Maharaj now preaching all over the world, making millions of people hear, making millions of people come closer to Krishna. This is Srila Prabhupada. We can go on and on and on. Prabhupada is personification of Krishna's mercy. Just like Narad Muni. If you see in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni, practically most of the great personalities in Bhagavatam are disciples of Narad Muni. Guru Maharaj, Narad Muni's disciple. And Prahlad Maharaj, Narad Muni's disciple. Practically most of them. And each one, Narad Muni has a very unique way of connecting with them, unique way of preaching. And very unique. You don't say a particular template. For us, generally when we do a service, most of the time we have 2-3 templates, and that only will follow. When we're talking to people, template words. Hare Krishna, Happy Janmashtami, thank you so much for coming, you're very great. But Narada Muni has a unique way to connect with each one. With Puranjana, he in fact stored a very, what story you call? Allegorical story. In that story, after the end of the story, he understood, hey, Narada Muni is talking about me. So then he understood. So sorry, to Prakshana Pariksa, right? Prakshana Pariksa. So that's how Narada Muni was preaching to everyone. Similarly, Prabhupada, to each one you will see very unique way of dealing. It is so amazing. One day, a businessman came, very rich businessman, and he came to Prabhupada. He had a big ego inside. He came to Prabhupada and started talking about his glorious West. Prabhupada, I have a factory in Delhi, I have a factory in Jaipur, I have a factory in this, that, so many. But still, generally in front of a sadhu, you just want to be humble. So he said, but still, I can't sleep peacefully. So he was hearing from Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, oh, acha, you have so many? Okay, you can give some of them to us. He was so shocked. He said, but Prabhupada, I have so many things, but that's why you understand. If you give some of your properties to us, we will take care of it and you can sleep peacefully. And immediately call, Prabhu, take his address. He said, Prabhupada, I can come anytime. You can come anytime. We should also be able to come to your place to meet you. So please give your address. He couldn't say anything. Finally, he had to give address to Prabhupada. And eventually they all became devotees. See how Prabhupada dealt individually with each one. Another time a professor, this professor, he appreciated Prabhupada, but still he was thinking his own philosophy of Mayavad philosophy was higher. So Prabhupada was trying to make him understand because he was trying to say everything is one, everything is one. Prabhupada took a simple example. Do you know a cotton ball? Is cotton ball and cotton shirt, are they same? He was trying to say, cotton. He was trying to bring the word cotton and trying to say same. Do you understand? Is cotton ball and cotton shirt, are they same? He was trying again. Yes, cotton. Third time he asked. He was trying to say something because Mayavad is generally they try to drag it because they don't have any substance. When you don't have substance, you'll just beat around. So Prabhupada literally held his shirt and shook it. Do you understand? Is cotton ball and cotton shirt same? No. Prabhupada made him understand then and there. His heart got transformed. Like this another time in Caltech, another professor, is an Indian professor. He was so impressed with Prabhupada's, the way he dealt and the way he organizes everything. He had so much appreciation. But again, because of the baggage, he was talking to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you're doing such wonderful things. And you are bringing everyone to understand the highest aspect, going from form to formless. Everyone, devotees are looking at what is this he's talking about? Highest we have heard about again and again, right? Three ways you can realize God. First one is Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan, Iti Satyate. You can realize God in three ways. The first one is understanding the impersonal aspect, realizing God in the Brahmeti, and then Paramatma as the localized Paramatma. And the highest realization is the personal aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. That is the highest. But this professor, Catholic professor, he was trying to say that formless to form. And he kept on quoting. Mayavadis also have their own verses, right? He kept on quoting from Vedanta Sutra, Vedanta this, that. He went on and on and on. Prabhupada asked, "Will you finish?" Then again he took from some more references, went on and on and on and on. Prabhupada asked, Prabhupada very nicely, he was chanting and asking again, "Are you finished?" Then for some time, few more minutes, he went on and he finally got exhausted with all his points. He had nothing else to say. At that time, he was still chanting and asking this. Then Prabhupada started. When Prabhupada started, he roared like a lion, especially with Mayavadis. You will see Prabhupada as a lion. And he started quoting from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Puranas, Vedas. Devotees were amazed how Prabhupada was literally quoting with so many wonderful aspects. And this professor who was standing, then, he was feeling a little nervous. Then he started kneeling down. Then he couldn't hold anymore. He started sitting. He sat on the floor. Then he paid obeisances and said, "Prabhupada, shall I have Kirtan?" That is Prabhupada. He could transform everyone based on wherever they are, and he would bring them to Krishna with this magnanimity. And I'm going to share some more pastimes about this well-wishing pastime. Very, very, one of my most favorite pastimes of Srila Prabhupada is this. In ISKCON, the very first Mataji who got initiated, first woman disciple of Srila Prabhupada is Govinda Dasi Mataji. He had the good fortune of having a darshan in Alachua. She used to stay there for a long time. Before that, Mataji was in Hawaii too, and Mataji is the first woman disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And Mataji had the amazing opportunity to serve Prabhupada personally also. In the early days, she was also personal servant for quite a few months. And she would cook for Prabhupada, would clean his room and be there taking care of all the services. One day, those days, I think they were in California, from Los Angeles, Prabhupada asked them to go to Hawaii. And her Mataji's husband's name was Gautsundakur, right? Gautsundakur. Yeah. So both of them, they went to Hawaii. So generally, when devotees are sent to a different place, they don't go with a job. They don't go with a package. They don't go with all the accommodation, everything set. When Prabhupada said, they immediately pack a bag and they go. That's all. So they went to Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the most expensive places, right? It's not easy. They went there and they were told to start a temple. So they went there, they started, initially they understood they need some source of income so that, they can take care of their life as well as rent a place. And then, so Mataji, she was qualified, she wanted to look for a job. Finally, after attending so many interviews, she landed up in a very well-paid job. It was a very good job. She became an executive secretary to a big firm. And she was happy. So it took almost 2 months for her to land up in it, 1.5 months to land up in the job. And she started working. And she took that job seriously because she knew how it meant. Then they rented a place and would take care of all the services in that place. Every evening, after coming back from work, they would also sit in front of the deities and chant. This was going on 1.5 months. Now, in 2 weeks, she got a message from devotees that Prabhupada is coming. Mataji thought, but we are not ready. We don't have any facilities to serve Prabhupada here. Our van is very beat up van. It's a very old Ford truck. It was very beat up. And the place is also not well organized. And I just joined a job. I don't want to leave my job because when Prabhupada comes, they were the only devotees. So they have to serve. See, when spiritual master comes, you drop everything. That's it. What else is more important? Spiritual master. So the spiritual master and the services are the most important. We don't think about anything. That time we don't think, should I put a leave? Should I think about this? Should I cancel my, that vacation? No questions. We cancel everything and be there when the spiritual master is there. So that is the situation. So Mataji said, but I just got this job after so long try. And it is a very well paid job. And in 2 weeks, if I go and say I cannot come for a week, I need to be there taking care of spiritual master, definitely they're going to be fired. So I don't want to do that. So she was not feeling happy about it. At the end, think about it. Let's understand. Be practical. You will think like that, right? I'm not ready, but at the same time, I don't want to leave job. There is a sustenance at that time. So it is a very normal thing for anyone to think. But Prabhupada came. And they went and received Prabhupada in airport in the same old beaten truck. Prabhupada was completely oblivious to all this external situation. In other places, they were taking Prabhupada in Rolls Royce and big cars because devotees want to give the best to Prabhupada. Prabhupada is not attached to all this thing. He just wants to please devotees. But here, they were bringing Prabhupada in an old truck. They were feeling little, and Mataji was not feeling so happy because she was still feeling that I have to give a job like that. That anxiety was there. So she was not talking so freely as she would. But initially, she didn't want to come to Hawaii because she's serving Srila Prabhupada personally and she said, let this go on forever. For life, let this go on. But now she's told to come here. But after here, the heart became because she got attached to the job. So Mataji was, see, you get the conflict, right? My spiritual master is there, but my heart is like this. So she was going through the conflict internally. But Prabhupada is so merciful. He didn't literally, bother her so much. He was going on. This is Prabhupada's amazing quality. Wherever Prabhupada goes, nothing external affects him. Generally, when we come to any place, when we travel long, like when we go to India from here, we all suffer something called jet lag, right? And everything changes because you're timing, you're sleeping, everything changes. But Prabhupada, he immediately go and set up schedule there. He will immediately resume the schedule of that particular place. No jet lag, no. Wherever he goes, morning, he would in fact wake up in the midnight itself to do translation, chanting, and every day would go for a walk, every day would come for Srila Darshan. Everything will go on as per the schedule of the place. No change. All the devotees who are traveling with Prabhupada would have so much of difficulty to catch up with Prabhupada. Even when Prabhupada was going on a morning walk, Prabhupada would be walking. By then he was already in 70s and 80s. But all the other devotees were jogging. They couldn't catch up with Prabhupada. Prabhupada was walking so swiftly and they were literally struggling to catch up. And Prabhupada would follow, meet devotees, give Bhagavatam class, give Bhagavad Gita class, everything will go on. So Prabhupada continued in Hawaii to the same schedule. Couple of days passed. Mataji took off from her job and she knew what will happen. They are not going to keep her in the company. So, but still, with difficulty, she would continue the services very nicely, very diligently. One fine day, in the evening, sitting and chanting in front of her deities. And these deities are Prabhupada's deities. These are Prabhupada's deities. Prabhupada was carrying the deities. And they are sitting in front of the deities and chanting. And suddenly a gush of love, a gush of a divine feeling literally engulfed her, erupted from her heart. Many of you might have felt what I'm trying to say. Sometimes in your life you would have felt this. A deep feeling which completely transforms you. Such a feeling. It came in her heart. It was an ocean of love. And all her doubts, everything was cleared. She could understand why Prabhupada came here. She was serving Srila Prabhupada so diligently, complete dedication. And when she was told to come to Hawaii, after after a couple of months, she became attached to this job. And gradually, how Maya works. Maya will make you believe that what you are doing is right. And you should be practical, you should be doing this. Maya will convince you. And you yourself, we ourselves won't realize that you're slowly coming away from Krishna. So gradually, she was giving more preference to job. Prabhupada, he was elsewhere. Still, Prabhupada knew what was happening with Govinda Das Mataji, and he wanted to tell her. That is the reason. It was not on Prabhupada's schedule. Every other temple, they are begging Prabhupada to come here. Please come, Prabhupada, please come, Prabhupada. But Prabhupada chose to come here. And when this thought came, And she understood Prabhupada actually came to rescue me. I was drowning in the ocean of materialness again. He came to literally pick me up again. When this thought came, tears started, coming from her eyes. At that time, Prabhupada, that was a little large room. Prabhupada was sitting in the corner of the large room behind. So Prabhupada, and she couldn't see Prabhupada. So she turned back and saw Prabhupada. She was thinking, Prabhupada, that is the reason he came to rescue me, right? You knew that I was going through such that I did not even realize that I was drifting away. Isn't that right, Srila Prabhupada? And mind, she was thinking and turning to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada, very intensely, she looked at her and nodded her head. All this in mind, she didn't say. All this in her mind. Prabhupada nodded her head. It's a confirmation. Mataji says, this is the most ecstatic experience in my life. And I understood what ever well-wisher means. That means to give life, to uplift one spiritually, to make them come closer to Krishna. That is Srila Prabhupada. That is the Prabhupada you are talking about. It is the situation to every disciple. So I was supposed to stop at 9:15 today.
I don't know.
Can we take another 10 minutes? Is that okay? Very okay. Very Krishna. So that is Srila Prabhupada's costless mercy. Being there for everyone based on their situation. Another time, a 60-year-old man, he came to see Srila Prabhupada. That this is again told by Atma Tattva Prabhu. So this man, he appreciated Prabhupada. He was so attached to ISKCON now. Those days, like how we have, for initiation, there are certain requirements, right? You need to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna for so many years, so many services, you should come to program. So those days, 6 months you need to serve in the temple. So that was the situation. But this man, he couldn't do that for his health reasons. So he came to Atma Tattva Prabhu. At that time, he was cleaning the temple. He came to him and said, Prabhu, I want to take initiation from Srila Prabhupada. Then he said, but you have, the rules, you need to be serving six months actually. He said, I will not be able to do it because of my health. He lifted his dhoti and showed his leg. It was swollen. And he knew that it was a serious health condition. But I still want to take initiation from Prabhupada. Can you help me? See, initiation, generally, if someone comes and asks you, can you take me to your spiritual master and tell me the initiation? What will you say? Right, be it Radha Govind Maharaj, any Maharajas, you will be literally scared. You can ask me anything, but not about that. You can ask some other senior devotee, he will help you. You immediately want to change that to some other devotee, right? But he knew, because he is not following that 6 months criteria. Atma Tattva Prabhu said, Prabhu, every day Srila Prabhupada will give darshan. At that time, you can yourself ask Prabhupada directly. And when coming, please bring a plate of offering to Prabhupada. Next day, when Prabhupada was having darshan, so this person, this devotee, 60-year-old man who had health issue, he came along with a big, nice plate, beautiful plate covered with a cloth. He brought so many items for Prabhupada. And he kept the plate in front of Prabhupada's table. And then he asked Prabhupada. See, generally what happens many times, you will think, you will even format it. You can even put in ChatGPT, this is what I want to speak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But when you go in front of your spiritual master, the slate will become empty. It will be a blank slate again. You don't know what to say. Most of the time it happens. So he went and he said, Prabhupada, I want to chant Hare Krishna. He said, who is stopping you? You can chant Hare Krishna. Do you have beads? Then he had a bead. This devotee, Prabhupada took the beads. Do you know how to chant? And Prabhupada personally showed him how to chant. He started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He went on, second, third, fourth. He chanted on the entire beat, 108. And then Prabhupada said, now you know, please chant Hare Krishna. He gave the beats to him. And there, Hare Bol! And this devotee, he took the beats. He became very happy, very pleased, and he paid obeisances and thanked Prabhupada and went. Within a couple of weeks, due to his health reason, he left this body. And Srila Prabhupada, he knew exactly what everyone needs. And again, bring them to Krishna. Once, this was told by Badrinarayan Maharaj. And he was telling in LA, when devotees would go for walking, when Prabhupada would go for walking, many devotees would all follow in the morning walk. One day they were walking in the park, and they saw a very unique scene there. When they were walking, Prabhupada was walking in front, many devotees were following. So usually when morning walk, many conversations happen, many conversations are recorded also. So there, they were walking on both sides of the pathway. There were so many deers, and they came and they also were walking with Prabhupada. And these deers, they would walk with Prabhupada and suddenly they would run for 20 feet ahead and they'll stop there. They'll wait for Prabhupada to come. And when Prabhupada would catch up, again they will run and again they will run. Like that. While going and coming also the deers were. So it was not coincidental. They were doing, and they did a couple of times. And the devotees were amazed. Wow. These deers, they knew a pure devotee is here. They just wanted to take his association. We could connect this with who? Bharat Maharaj. Right? Bharat Maharaj, who became a deer in his next life, he came to the devotees and he was simply listening to them all the time. So, many devotees could feel that. What an amazing experience. The deers were literally walking with Prabhupada. Generally, they don't do that. And not only walking with Prabhupada and coming back in the same day also. They did it a couple of times. Another time, again, devotees are walking along, and this is in Cheviot Hills in California, Los Angeles. So there, one day they were walking through one of the nice neighborhood. They saw a big house. Prabhupada said, such a beautiful house. One day we'll have a big house for Krishna like this. Everybody says, Jai Prabhupada. Then they walk past little and they saw a very nice circular driveway and there was a big limousine, beautiful one. Prabhupada said, one day we'll have a big car like this for Krishna. Everybody said, Jai Prabhupada. Walk further and they saw a very big dog. The dog was coming and barking at the devotees. Prabhupada said, one day we'll have a big dog like this for Krishna. What do you think the devotees did? Jai Prabhupada! And Prabhupada immediately looked at them. You fools. What do you want the dog for? Prabhupada don't just want, just for the sake of glorification. Prabhupada knew exactly how to correct them at the exact time so that their consciousness is always straight. I just want to finish with one very nice last time. Is that okay? Yes. I have so much, but I want to complete with this. I'm sorry if I'm taking your time. Please forgive me. Okay. See how I was saying every place Prabhupada turned into holy place. I was giving you several examples here, Vrindavan, New Dwarka, like this. In France, quite a few hours, I think 4 hours from Paris, I believe, there is a place known as New Mayapur. Some of you might have heard about, I believe. And this place was an old castle, actually. This castle was literally like how you see, movies, big castle, old, like you feel not so happy. You just see looking at outside. You don't want to live there. So this was like hundreds of years old, and devotees started, getting the place and trying to make it into a temple. And they made it to a temple, beautiful temple. And it was such a hardship for devotees. It's not in city, it's much outskirts. That means they have to do everything from scratch. They have to first remove the forest around, and then make a pathway, make a road, make facilities. And even, when, excuse me, His Grace Vajrayana Prabhu, he visited once and he was saying, even now, it's been more than 50 years, the temple is not like very well, decorated place in the sense, the doors and everything is still old. So when Prabhuji was using his room, when he was closing the door, he was scared that the door will come out of its stand. It was like that. So everything was like that. He was so scared that things will fall off. Then he came to the temple president and said, Prabhuji, it looks like, all these things require some carpenter and some work, handyman to fix everything. So don't worry, 50 years it's been like this. Nothing will go on. And the devotees were saying to Pragya and Prabhu, in that place, when Prabhupada visited this place, Prabhupada was so happy. Devotees took such hardship to make it as a temple. And Mayapur is Prabhupada's dear place, right? So this is new Mayapur. Then they were talking to Prabhupada. They said, when they were going for a morning walk, at that time they were talking to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, some devotees are not feeling comfortable. There are so many very, very unique experiences they have experienced basically. Basically, they were saying that this place is haunted by ghosts. Many devotees have experienced ghosts, and it was very scary for them to be here. That's the reason you see, moving. Basically, devotees kept changing, and it's difficult to stay them at one place. It's very difficult. Prabhupada heard that. Oh, is it? Then, when they came to temple, Prabhupada was going to, he said, let me take tour of the temple. So he was going around. Prabhupada was walking with a cane, right? So when he was talking to devotees and he was giving instruction, okay, you can do in this place this, in this place you can have a guest room, in this place, and then you would go to a pillar like that, then you would beat the pillar. And then continue talking. But it was like as a part of the talk. You will go to a different place, and then you will beat the place with this cane. So like this, he was going to several places, and in the meanwhile, Prabhupada was continuously talking to them, giving them instructions. After the whole tour was done, he was talking to the devotees and the temple president and said, okay, everything is taken care. And by the way, I want to tell you, in this place, no more ghosts. I drove them away, all of them. I drove them all away now. No more ghosts. From then on, for more than 50 years, nobody experienced any ghostly experiences. Very bold. Srila Prabhupada's causeless mercy. Another time, same thing happened. This is in France. In England, Bhaktivedanta Manor. It's one of the most important places in the UK. In fact, in the Europe. It's a huge place. And they had a lake. And in that temple itself, if you see in the structure, there are two figurines. One is a male, other one is a female in the British old style. And they will have different emotions at different times. It was sculptured in that way. Sometimes they look happy, sometimes they look very scary. So when Prabhupada came once, there was a lake. Prabhupada suddenly asked the devotees, empty this lake. It's a lake. It's not a pond, small thing. You have to empty the lake means you have to bring a machine to get the water out. Right? He said, Prabhupada, but that is a lake. Yes, I want you to empty out. Then they emptied the lake. It took few days to complete the process. And to their surprise, they found two dead bodies there. The devotees came back and Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, did you do this? Yes. I saw them so many times, they were just wandering around the lake, in their ghostly body. And these people committed suicide for a long time ago. So get the body out, and then Prabhupada, purified the place. Then no issues there. Prabhupada took care of every single detail. These are all a drop of the ocean of divine pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. We are all eternally indebted to Srila Prabhupada. Our debt we can never repay, but that is a blissful situation. We can never repay what Prabhupada has given to us. Prabhupada's followers have given to us. How we can repay? The Prabhupada has said, whatever mercy he has given to all of us, if we try to give the same mercy to whomever you can within your best capacity, that is the way we can start to repay our debts, and that will be ongoing eternally. So whatever capacity we have, some can do speaking, some can do service, whatever ways we can, to our best capacity. Because in every way, being as a devotee itself, you are preaching. Because preaching is not just speaking, by being how we are dealing with devotees, that itself will inspire. Sometimes, it is said, a best preacher will speak less, but by his actions, he will inspire everyone. So everything matters. Whatever capacity we have, doesn't matter. We don't have to feel low about anything. With our capacity, we can please Srila Prabhupada and start to pay back our debts, which will go on for eternity. So let us take this forward, the Prabhupada's legacy, because that is our responsibility. Prabhupada has said it. We take this forward. Let's be always loyal to Prabhupada, always trying to please Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, please empower us, please bless us, so that we can always serve your divine lotus feet, all your followers, very nicely, with humility, without any offenses, and take this movement forward. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada. We are eternally grateful to your divine lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's divine appearance in Mahotsav ki jai. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Once again, please excuse me for going over time. Thank you so much. We will continue at 10 o'clock. We will have verbal offerings, 10 to 12. Then we will have Aarti, Pushpanjali for Prabhupada. Then we will break our fast with Mahafeast. And we will have a nice kata, Prabhupada's pastime and Sunday feast also today. So I request all of you to be here. And evening we also have program. Everything's in the schedule. Thank you so much once again. Please forgive me if I spoke anything inappropriate or if I said Beyond my adhikar, please forgive me as your humble servant. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.